Hello guys, how are you all doing? Welcome to our third recorded video in the general revision, and today we are going to take a quick look at the vocab of units 4, 5 and 6. So without further ado, let's take a look at the main vocab in unit 4, and the first one in here is souvenir. So souvenirs are the things that you buy to remind you of places you visit. Like when you go to the pyramids, you may buy, a mini sculpture of Sphinx or a mini pyramid. So this is a souvenir. Whenever you look at this mini sculpture, you will remember the day you spent at the pyramids or so on. Okay? After that we have traffic. So traffic is the cars that are on the road, and we have another word which is traffic jam. So whenever the traffic is jammed, it's like it's very crowded. All the cars are stopped and we are waiting for other cars to start moving. This is called traffic jam. Good. After that we have sewage. Sewage is the waste from people's bodies, the sewage which we dump, which we get rid of. So sewage are unhealthy things that we throw away. Alright. What about wildlife? Wildlife is all the forms of life that are found in the wilderness, like animals, birds and insects that are wild and live in their natural environment. And environment is like the natural habitat, is like the place where animals live, like in the forest or in the desert and so on. Okay. Graze animals are like the animals that eat grass, the animals that eat green things. Like in here we have two cows that are grazing. Good. These two cows are eating grass. They are grazing. Good. So the reading passage in unit 4, if you could remember, was talking about the pros and cons of tourism, the advantages and disadvantages of tourism, what is good and what is bad for tourism. So please, if you have time, read it one more time and then take a look at the worksheet that is sent to you on the website and try to answer it. And as usual, you will see the model answer the following day. Alright, but let's take a look at these questions really quick. What is someone who visits places on holiday? Yes, so a tourist is someone who visits places on his or her holiday. Okay, number 2, all people know him. He is, everybody knows him, so he is very famous. Good. Tourists buy what and gifts to take home? We have just talked about this. When you go to the pyramids, you buy souvenirs. So tourists buy souvenirs and gifts to take home. Good. Number 4, which people sell things to tourists? International people or local people? Good. So local people are the people who originally live in the place. Good. Like we all live in Sharm el-Sheikh, for example. So we are locals. We are the local people of Sharm el-Sheikh. Okay. Number 5, tourism can what? The local fishing industry. Remember when we were talking about the bad things about tourism and how it can destroy farms, how it can end the existence of the grazing animals, how it can harm and affect the fishing industry. So of course it's not going to be spread or dumped, it's going to be destroyed. Tourism can destroy the local fishing industry. Good. There are pools of water everywhere as the what doesn't work well. So what is responsible for dumping the water? The electricity, the telephone, or the sewage? Good. So the sewage doesn't work well, so there are pools of water everywhere. Okay, let's move on to the vocab of Unit 5. And if you could remember, this unit was about the story of the princess which was held captured in the castle of the evil Duke of Doom, and it was like an adventure. Good. So the first word we have is a warrior. A warrior, somebody who goes into war. So a warrior is like a brave soldier. Good? Wonderful. What about creep? To walk on legs and hands. And also to creep is try to spy on people, try to creep around, try to know their secrets without them noticing you. But mainly to creep is to walk on both legs and hands, like the sloth we have in here. Alright. Furiously. To be furious is to be violent with anger, to be really angry. This is when you are furious. Alright. Like when I say my dad was furious because I didn't do my homework, for example. Alright? What about cape? Like you see in the picture, a cape is a piece of clothing with no sleeves that hangs from your shoulders. So Superman, he has a cape. What about Batman? He also has a cape. And what else? Wonder Woman? Alright. So a cape is like the piece of cloth that hangs from your shoulders. Alright. Gag. Gag is a piece of cloth that is tied around a person's mouth to make him stop speaking. So whenever somebody is kidnapped, so they gag him. To gag somebody is to put a piece of cloth around his mouth or inside his mouth to prevent him from shouting or asking for help. Alright? Good. Now guys, let's take a look at these questions, and again you will find a worksheet on the website with more questions for you to be answered. Alright, the what is the king's daughter? So the prince is a daughter? No. The queen? Of course not. So the princess is the king's daughter. Wonderful. A what is a person who is trained to take part in battles. So whose job and profession to go into war? Yes, a warrior. Wonderful. Number 3, a what is a person under a castle, is a prison, under a castle or a palace. Of course, it's not a villa, not a hut, it's a dungeon. A dungeon is like a small prison under a big structure like a castle or a palace or a mansion. Good? Wonderful. Number 4, the boy, what? The drum. So it made a loud noise. So to go like, boom, banging on a drum, banging on the table, banging on the desk. So the boy banged the drum, so it made a loud noise. Wonderful. The guard was sitting in front of a what? Fire. So breathing, it's like when you breathe, and breathing like a very cold wind. the breeze of the air, or blazing. A blazing fire, a very, very bright fire, right? So the guard was sitting in front of a blazing fire. Number 6, the wind was very strong and it wet around our ears. So when the wind goes around and around, it makes a very distinctive noise, which is whistling. Alright, so the wind was very strong and it whistled around our ears. Good. Let's move on to vocab of Unit 6. And the first one we have is letter. So please notice the difference between letter and letter. So letter with an I is like the garbage, the trash, all the small pieces of rubbish that have been left on the ground in public places. But letter with an E is like the letter that you write to your friend and you send through the mail, right? A letter. Good. So letter is small pieces of rubbish that have been left on the ground in public places. Good. What about a fountain? A fountain, guys, as you can see, is a stream of water that is forced up in the air, used for decoration purposes. So the water is forced up in the air from a very small hole, like the one you see in here. Good. And it's only for decoration to have, you know, to make that place look good. Alright. Smelly. Smelly is having an unpleasant smell. Good. So this is a smelly shoe. Yeah. What about unhygienic? Unhygienic, not clean, in a way that may cause disease. So this person, he is filled with dirt and there are flies all around him. He is unhygienic. If you see food in the open air with flies and germs and it is, you know, like disgusting, so this is unhygienic, right? So it's not clean in a way that may cause diseases. Unhygienic. Good. What about a tire? Well, the tire is the thick rubber ring filled with air that is put around the wheels of the car. Really simple, really straightforward. So guys, this is a tire, the tire of the car. Good. Let's take a look at these questions. And number 1 is, there are a lot of parks where we can play. Safety. Of course not. This is a noun. Save. This is a verb. But we want to describe play. To play safely. Good? This is an adverb. So we describe the verb by an adverb. We can play safely. Good. We can write nicely. Good. Alright. Number 2. What is a stream of water that is forced up through a small hole? And of course it is a fountain. So guys, what is the difference between a lake and a pond? Well, a lake is like a big area of water, but a pond is smaller and it also can be manufactured. It can be made by people. Alright. Number 3, we what a lot of money when we buy food and clothes. So when you buy food, you lose money, you miss money. Of course not. You spend money. We spend a lot of money when we buy food and clothes. Alright. Number 4, rubbish is unpleasant and what for the people living in the town. Rubbish, of course, it can bring us diseases, so it's unhygienic. Rubbish is unpleasant and unhygienic for the people living in the town. Number 5, rubbish and litter cause what and disease? They cause danger, tires, or germs. Of course, rubbish and litter cause germs and disease. What are people who drive their own cars? Anything that have a motor. Yes, a motorist. Wonderful. Very good, guys. So this has been our video for today. Please stay tuned for other videos to revise all the units that we studied in the first term. That's it for today, guys. I love you all, I miss you all, and hope to see you all again really soon. Bye bye.